cry because my cat made me sit up. How are you guys? How are you? I'm doing quite well today. I saw my friends. We went to have coffee, and I wanted to transfer this positive energy that I am having at the moment, and because during the last months I started wanting to read books. I never did that. I never read books, and that's because actually, I don't know, I just felt like they weren't for me, and any book that I had tried to read, it just I found it quite boring, and I always thought that might be because I haven't read the right book for me to grab my attention. And so I started reading books while I was looking after my grandma at the hospital. During the previous month, I unfortunately lost her after that, but I really miss her, and I carry her with me, and I really have I have lots of sympathy for anyone who is going through something like that at this moment. It's a very hard thing to go through, and for you and your family. And so I wanted to show you some of the books I am trying to read after that. So the book that made me start reading, and I finished it in like 2 weeks, because I had quite some time at the hospital. I mean, I had a lot of time there. I spent a lot of time there. Is this one? This is a Greek book. I am Greek, and so it comes natural to me to try to read a Greek book rather than an English one, because it's much more difficult to concentrate on. Although I do know English, but you know, a book is a book. It needs your full concentration for a lot of time. This specific one is quite my favorite. My cat wants to come in. Just a moment. So this is the reason why I was able to start reading books. And the cat blocks the light right now. And it's a book, a romance book actually. It's a biography of a woman, not a real woman, it's fiction, of a woman that has a rough childhood, and so I'm gonna go through some of the details of these books, but I'm not gonna tell you how they end for the ones that I have read them as a whole, in case you would like to read them. So this book is called The Big Hima. I suppose this is how it's translated. It's by a Greek author named, his name is, let me see, he's named M. Karagatsis in Greek, and that's a pseudonym. It's not his real name. And well, this was a present of a friend of mine for my birthday, and well, it's about a woman who has, as I said, a rough childhood because her mother is a sex worker, and so she goes through a lot of stages of growing up and feels really weird about some parts of her that come natural to every woman, and especially for the relationship part of her regarding the intimacy she has with other men, until she finds the right one, let's say, at least that's what she thinks, and marries him. I'm not gonna tell anything other than that for this book, but it's very, very nice for me, because I like books that go deep into someone's psychology and mental health and thoughts, and this does it very well. And I think her thoughts, this woman's thoughts, are something that a lot of people have regarding relationships and intimacy. And also it's nice as a story. It has a very grabbing how can I say it, plot, and it really grabs your attention. You don't want to stop reading, and this was the first time that I've ever felt with a book like I was watching a series and I didn't want to skip an episode. I wanted to go through all of the episodes at once. I wanted to binge it, let's say. And this has never happened to me with a book before, so that's very nice. It's called the Imegali Himera, the Big Himera, because that's Himera is the name of the book that the man she meets works in, and that's all. The name of the boat. Did I say it correctly? Did I say book? I don't know. He works on a ship, let's say. So yeah, that's that. It's a very big boat, but it's, of course, it's not a literal name. I think it's supposed to be a reference to her emotions, let's say. Okay, so the second book is a book that my father recommended for me to read. And it's called, I'm not sure how it's called in English, but it's a very, very, very famous book because it has its own movie, I think. It's Zorba. I think that's how the movie is called. And it's about the biography again of a fictional man, who is based on a real man. And it's written by Nikos Kazantzakis, who is a very famous Greek author again. And so I study literature, and so I think it's very important for me to have read to read something like this. And I haven't yet. I started it, but I actually left it, so I'm gonna give it another try because it's supposed to be a very good book. It's very how can I say, it's very well known, and this is why it has its own movie. It's supposed to also be very inspirational and positive and optimistic by the example of this man, which is referring to. And I don't know, I haven't read it yet, to know if it is optimistic, but I trust my father's opinion on this. He really likes this author as a whole, like every book he has written. And well, I really like, I would really like to read something of his work, so I'm going to. Okay, it's about life and stuff. I'm not sure. It's supposed to be like this man, which the book is written about, which is like the inspiration of the, who is the inspiration of the book, the real version of the man, not the fictional. He really inspired the author, and that's why he wrote a whole book about him. So I'm gonna tell you once I have read it. Okay, another book I have read until the half, to the half until now. I haven't read it as a whole yet. Is I'm not sure how it's called in English again. In Greek, it's Oeonios Syzychos. It's by Dostoevsky. He's a very famous author. I think you would know him. And Oeonios Syzychos is translated, I think, to the wait a moment. The forever husband. I'm not sure what the word, which means someone who is always something, is like, I don't remember that word, but it's about a person who meets after a lot of years the husband of a woman that he had been dating while this woman was married to her husband. So he was the one who cheated on this person with his wife, let's say. And so, as you can guess, it's not a very pleasant feeling to meet that man. And now the woman who was cheating on her husband has died. So it goes deep into both of those men's thoughts, and especially the protagonist, which is who is the one who cheated, not the